Welcome, everybody, to Iconic TV Live. My name is Dr. Connie Scavella. I am your host for this show today, and we are continuing with part 2 of Power Podcasting, how you can have profitable passive income with podcasts. Now, try and say that 10 times, and you will get a free podcast session with me. So I'm really excited to have you back here. I want to talk about why podcasting is so important. There's a lot of noise. There's so much noise out there. Have you noticed that? Everybody's doing something. Every time you turn around, people are saying, oh, you got to be on this platform. You should be here. You should be doing this. And yeah, it would be great to be everywhere, wouldn't it? And, I was just recently at a workshop and there were a lot of people there. And you know what the messaging was that I was told when I went there was that I needed to be on every single platform 2 to 7 times a day. All right. So that meant Facebook, and not just Facebook in your profile, but your business page. It also meant LinkedIn. It also was YouTube. It was also Twitter, and it was TikTok, which most people think TikTok is going to be banned. So if you're on that, anybody on TikTok? Yeah, I'll tell you about my TikTok story in a minute. Oh, and then you might also want to be on something like Pinterest or other channels that you can be. So I was like, wow, that's a lot. And then a couple times a day. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. And then they showed us their strategy and how much they do and all the different platforms and how it really changed their business. And what happens when you see that? You're like, wow, that makes total sense. I see all the evidence that I should do this. Having your own blog and your own podcast also was included in that. So I'm starting to feel a little icky, a little guilty, like maybe I'm not doing enough. I'm not out there enough. Maybe I should be doing more. I mean, instead of a business that's doing a couple million, maybe I should be an 8-figure business by now if I could do all that. Has anybody ever seen that? And you see this going on out there and everyone's like, be everywhere. And then you have to stop and you have to look at it and you have to consider the source. Now, the source that I was watching is excellent. It's a source that I've been coaching with since 2017. And this coach is a billionaire, right? So guess what happens when you're a billionaire? We asked, who's doing it all? Well, they have a staff of 45 people, 45 people to be on 7 different platforms multiple times a day. How about you guys? How many of you have a staff of 4? Oh, go ahead and put down in the comments. How many people do you actually have working for you doing this? And so if you've got a staff of 45, that's no problem to be everywhere. No wonder you're ubiquitous. No wonder you're so huge because you have all these people doing it for you. But what if you are a staff of 1 or 2 or 3? Like, we're very lean and mean in my company. And we have about 4 or 5 people in my company. And not 45, but 4 or 5, okay? Just depending on who's full-time or not. So what's going on for you? Do you have the ability to be everywhere? So this is why I wanted to do this series for you on podcasting, because it gives you that power to be everywhere, but you don't have to do everything. Now, we are today on part 2, okay? So part 2, what we're talking about today is how do you actually build your own podcast? And I'm going to give you something amazing. I promise you it'll be worth the wait, okay? And so today we're talking about what if you want to create your own podcast. And then last week, if you didn't see it, I want you to type down below #replay, okay? #replay. And what we did last week, let me see if I can find something on this. This will kind of give you an idea of the two parts of what we did, right? So last week was part one, and we did the power of being a guest on a podcast. This is excellent if you're just getting started. Or if you don't have a big budget, or if you're still kind of feeling your oats, you're trying to figure out, what do I really want my message to be? Who is my market? Do I really love this niche that I'm in, or do I want to maybe do something else? This is perfect for you. Okay. Now, if you're ready, you know your message, you know what you want to do, and you're committed, and I mean committed for years, then go ahead and be a host. Okay. So that's the difference. Okay. So we talked about getting started as a guest, and I want you to get that replay. Hashtag replay number one. Okay. Hashtag replay number one. If you saw it, give me some love. All right. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you saw it, if you liked it. I love some love. Okay. I just don't do this for grins. I have an ego, so I still want a little bit of love from you guys. Somebody give me some love if you liked it or loved it. And we had some trivia and some interesting facts. And then now we're going to talk about, what if you want to do it? Okay. So how many of you, I have a podcast. How many of you have a podcast? Let me know. Our podcast is Sword of Freedom Podcast. It is the world's only 4-minute podcast. And if anyone wants to be a guest on my podcast, it is going to be your hardest podcast to ever be a guest on, because you've got to deliver your entire message to the world in 4 minutes. Most people can talk for 40. It's really hard to do it in 4. But if you do want to be a guest, type hashtag guest, and we will reach out to you and invite you to be a guest on our podcast. Now, if you have a podcast and you would love to have a guest, I would love to be your guest on your podcast, speaking on anything from business to mindset, to money and all of those topics, starting a business, re-engineering your mind. Or if you just like people who've had a major transformation. We talk a lot sometimes in podcasts about how I overcame compound PTSD, the different businesses I've been in, and starting 5 multi-million-dollar businesses from scratch. So there's different areas I talk on. What would be your area? Okay. So if you had a podcast, I want this to be really interactive today, because I'm going to show you something really, truly amazing in a minute. Put it in the comments. I want to see, what would you talk about on your podcast? Okay. Now, one of the reasons that people don't do certain things in their businesses is they just don't really feel that good about it. Like, I don't know if I'm good. I don't know if I'm ready. Okay. Is that you? And what stops us from moving forward with something like this is the mindset. Okay. And so the reason I want you to consider podcasts, one or the other. Okay, be a host or be a guest, but do something. Okay, the hosting part is more complex. The guesting part, super easy. Everybody should do this. Okay, and you're going to see coming forward how we mix that, and you can be everywhere. So if you would love to have your own show, I want to know. Put it in the comments. Let me see who's here, and let me see who's interested in having their own show. Hey, Julie, great to see you. And I would love to know about you. What do you have for a podcast or anything like that? Who else is here? Nadia, great to see you. Hey, you guys are both amazing, because I think I've got calls with both of you this week, and I'm really excited about that. Hey, Mark, haven't seen you in a long time. It is great to have you here. Hope you're doing great. Let me know what's going on in your business. We'll have to hook up and chat as well. Who else is here? You guys know I am the queen of not knowing how to multitask on this thing. So bear with me. I love it when my team is here. We have a great team in the background. We've got Angie and Della and Tally are here. They're going to help you with anything that you need. Okay. Because I'm going to give you guys some really cool stuff. And I promise you will love it if you can just hold on for a little bit. Okay. So let me know if you have a podcast. And is it, I'm trying to read that. Prayer works. Absolutely. Absolutely. As somebody who had a near-death experience, I am a big fan of prayer. Okay. So Let me know how many of you want to be, put down in the comments, host or a guest. Which one do you want to be, a podcast host or a podcast guest? So I'll tell you a little story with my podcast. When I started my podcast, I was told, you need to do that. Remember when you had to have a website and a blog? Yeah, I still have a website and I had a blog. I can't do it all, right? I just can't. So I don't have 45 people on my staff. I don't know about you guys, but here's when you're going to be hiring. If you guys want some training on hiring, we'll be happy to do it for you guys. But each person you hire should be producing about $250,000 a year in revenue. So if you're not at that point yet, it's going to be very expensive for you to bring them on. Okay. So I want to make sure that there's things that you're not doing too early. Don't hire too early if you're not at that level. Don't do ads. Okay. Just don't do ads until you're making $15,000 a month. I promise you, you will lose money if you do. Okay. So we don't want that to happen. If you heard me, I've built 5 multi-million-dollar businesses from scratch. No money. I always went into a completely different field. I know I'm like a glutton for punishment and didn't know anything about it, had no contacts, no money, no lists, no nothing. And they all became multi-million-dollar companies without any outside funding. And how? Because there's a process. And I followed the same process every time and it works. The only time I didn't was this company. And I thought, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm a little rusty. Okay. I'll tell you why I thought that. Because between my last company and this company, I had severe compound PTSD. My mind was at effing mess. Okay. And I lost all my confidence. I didn't really believe in myself, and it took a while to get it back. And so I created a program to get my confidence get back, get my certainty back. Has anyone ever been through something really, really hard and it brought you to your knees and you're like, oh my God, I don't know how to come back from this? Yeah. Okay. So if you've been through that, you might have even heard like Angie's story. I wrote, where's this book? I wrote this book and featured her in it. It's called Everyday Heroes. If you guys haven't read that, if just type #heroes, if you want to hear about it and her story. I thought mine was bad. Hers was ridiculous. Okay. And so many people come to me and they're like, wow, I just went through something really hard. And it's hard to transition. Okay. So I want you to know that you can. I'm going to give you guys something. I'm just going to put it here on the bottom. Okay. Because I want to talk about podcasting, but I don't want you to miss out in case you need to leave for a minute. Okay. But I'm going to put this up here. You guys can read it as we're going along. And it was hard for me to get going in my business and hard for me to think about doing a podcast because I was so beaten down when I started. And all the advice I was getting from people was exactly wrong for me and for my business. And they didn't believe in me and they were doing my kind of business. And I lost $86,000 trying to do business with the way people were teaching me, which was not right for me. Okay. So my mind was a mess. And when you lose $86,000 in 9 months, that's a lot of money. And you're hesitant to do anything. Right. But one of the things that I had to do was I had to get my podcast out there. And it was based on this mindset that I went through. So it's all about elevating your mind and skyrocketing your business because the two are side by side, right? You can't just grow your business and not worry about your mind. You can't just focus on your mind and not grow a business, right? Then you're just sitting under a Bodhi tree naked. And so you need to really do both. And so what I'm showing you down here, and I apologize because my computers went down in the middle of the afternoon and they're not exactly done yet, but I'm putting a program together next Monday and I would love for you to come. It's called Mind Your Business because everyone I have talked to in the last 6 months has an issue with their mind and they're not certain, they're not confident about moving forward in their business. And they would rather hold back and try and figure things out on their own than really go for it. And I thought this has got to stop. Okay. There's too many people who can't get above 6 figures. All right. And I want you there. And when you're there, I can take you to 7 figures real easy, but we got to get you to 6 figures. So if you're stuck with your mind, if you're having a problem with that, I want you to come to Mind Your Business. And it is a program that we are doing. It is just for, it doesn't, you don't even have to have a business, okay? But you might want one, or you might just realize my mind is a mess and I got to fix it up, okay? So Mind Your Business is coming up. And it really is focused on helping you with your mind, right? Getting your mind right. And it's going to be a 3-day mind mastery series. Okay. So it's Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday at this time, 5 p.m. It's going to help you elevate your mind and skyrocket your business. Now, there's a website, theiconicmind.com. Unfortunately, you can't click on anything. You can see it, but you can't get your seat. So give us about 2 hours. We're going to try and fix the glitch. And then you can go register, but just type #mind, and then we can send you the link to register. Just do #mind, and we'll do that for you. So, if you are like me, right? Everybody else seemed like they were happy, and I was just like, gosh, doesn't anything go my way? And that's why I created the program that supports Mind Your Business. And I want to show you all the stuff that we do to get your mind right. I'll tell you more over the next couple of days, but just go ahead and register for it and get your seat. Please give us about 2 hours to make sure the link works, because you can see everything that's going to be there. Unfortunately, you can't get your seat. So I didn't want to be late. I'm just going to be totally honest with you guys. So just type #mind. We'll get you ready for that. Okay. So people are going to want to have a podcast, right? But the mind isn't right? Like, I don't know if I'd be good. And people stop doing their podcast after 40 episodes, and they quit. Okay. That's less than 10 months. They can't even finish the year. And is it because it's hard, or because they weren't ready? So I think it's a combination of both, not knowing exactly what you need to do and to get there. And in my case, when I started my podcast, nobody told me what to expect. I didn't understand what equipment I needed, how to get ready. I didn't understand the structure. I did not know how to get the guests. I did not know where to host. I didn't know any of the equipment. I knew nothing. And I just went out there and put it all out there. I loved it, but I didn't know what I was doing, right? Anybody out there like that? Okay. So this is why we're talking about this today. And all of this is part of the whole 7-figure game plan that we talk about, right? So this is the process for you to go and become a 7-figure CEO. You've got to distinguish yourself, which we talked about the other week. And now we're talking about disruption. Okay. The last couple sessions have all been about disruption. And this is the third one there in this row, and that's the power platform. So it's very, very important going forward to disrupt yourself. I think it was Diamond, I think, from Chase, was talking about all the that recession is a foregone conclusion and all this stuff. Well, guess what? That's really going to mess with your mind, but it's going to mess with your business if you don't do something different. Okay. Now, if you were in our workshop, Soar to Scale, you still have 3 more days to get your maximizer call in there. And all you have to do to get that is do #max. So that's part of what we gave you in that last workshop. And so it is a 20-minute maximizer call, and it's going to help you accelerate everything you learned in that workshop. For it's almost been 3 weeks, right? So we want to make sure you get it in that 30-day period so you can move forward on everything that you learned, right? So please type #max if you would like that. So again, we covered part 1, where how do you be a guest. Now we're talking about some different steps. So if you want to be a guest, these are the 4 steps. Really simple. Okay. Here's the problem. If you want to be a podcast host, it's about 70% more complex than being a guest. There's 8 specific steps that you're going to need to go through and line up in order to host your own podcast. And you want to understand all the equipment, all the things that you need in advance. What we do is with our clients, when they want a podcast, we can get them set up in one call. Right. And so they have a monthly calls with me, and we can just take one of those calls and set up the whole podcast. We've done that with several people. And in under an hour, you've got a podcast. And in order to run it, you can just go with simply a cell phone. Okay. It's that easy to do. But when you want to make it really last, you want to make it go big, then you're going to need some more equipment and some other things. Okay. But the most important thing about doing a podcast is that you also want to monetize it. Okay. And so I'm going to show you the different ways that you can monetize your podcast. So write these things down. Okay. So when you're hosting your own podcast, you do have to look at the cost. Okay. Like, what are the costs of the equipment? Now, the equipment that you're going to need can run anywhere from about altogether about $300 or $400 to, if you want to go top of the line, about $2,500 to $3,000. Okay. So when you're putting out that much money, then you want to make sure that you can get some back. Okay. So you want to be able to cover your costs. One of the ways that you can cover your costs is through sponsorship. All right. And you can bring in sponsors to come in and you feature them. Okay, this segment is sponsored by the iconic brands, right? Or this section is sponsored by McDonald's or something like that. Okay. Now, how do you get those sponsors? Well, we have some scripts for you to do that. Okay. But that's one of the ways. And the other way is you can self-sponsor. I mean, you do your own thing, and you can put out lead magnets and different cheat sheets and templates and things that people can get based on what you're talking about that will bring you revenue and bring you a list. See, the whole point of going live and doing all this is to put out something that you can share with the world that gives them value, and they will exchange something valuable in return, which is their contact information. And that contact information is about the only thing you own. Forget all the platforms, you don't own it, right? So a podcast can start bringing you passive income because you start to build an amazing email list that you can market to and service all the time without ever going live. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's one of the reasons why you want to be going live. You want to build a list, and that list is 100% free. And that list will also cover your costs. You also have to look at the tools. Okay. What are the tools that you're going to need? And there's a handful of tools that you're going to need in order for your podcast. Okay. Obviously you need a really good mic. I've had this Yeti. It's a Yeti. You can find it on Amazon. I have a whole list of all of the tools. If you want all of the resources that I have, all the equipment that you need. So microphones, headsets. I have a list of headsets. I have different hosting places. You're going to need to host your podcast in several places. I have a list of those for you. So all of these are going to be cheat sheets and templates I'm going to give you in a few minutes. So if you want those and you're here live, I'm going to give you all of those in a playbook, okay, of everything. Okay. So if you do want that playbook of everything that we have in it, let me see where I have it. I'm going to show you the whole thing. Just type #playbook. Okay. #playbook, and you will get all the replays, the checklist, the templates. You'll also get a podcast audit. So we can look at what your strategy is and give you a much better strategy for that. Okay. So when you're looking at, okay, I got to look at all my equipment. What do I need? What are my tools? Okay. I'm going to give you a list of all of those, so you know exactly what they are as far as low range, mid range, and high range, so you don't overspend. Okay. Now, the other thing that you have to account for as a host is the time. Okay. So there's a couple of features, right? You have to figure out how much time are you going to be putting into this every week? What time are you going to host? When is the best time? How do you research the best time to get your podcast out there for that right audience? And then you also want to understand the different places that you can host it. Obviously, you want to be on iTunes and Spotify, and there's some other ones, but where else are you going to host it? Because there's varying costs. Okay. A lot of people use Libsyn. It's very professional. If you're going to go big and you're going to keep this for a long time, it's a great resource. But there's also free ones that you can use. Okay. I'm a big fan of starting off free. Okay. Let your business pay for your expenses instead of you coming out of pocket. Okay. I know a lot of people say just go get the best thing up front. Yeah, but not if you can't, right? Not if you don't have a really good strategy yet. If you're over six figures, no problem. Okay. But if you're getting to six figures, you want to know these strategies and where to get the best equipment and the best equipment without spending a fortune, right? And then you can upgrade and add more things. Okay. So everything I did, I started with nothing and then I added more and more and more equipment. I'll give you an idea. When I started, I didn't even have lights. I didn't have a studio. I didn't have lights. And I used a bedroom light with two arms, took off the lampshades, and that was my light. Okay. I didn't even have a ring light. I was like, remember $86,000 in the hole? I was broke. So I'm going to show you in these resources, in these playbooks, how you get everything. All right. And what's the other thing that you have to know with your podcast is you want to figure out, well, what's the income? Where am I going to do this? Now, the income can come from a number of sources like we talked about, but you want to figure out, you're trying to get people to come and download your podcast. Being the more downloads you get, the better guests you get. Okay. The better guests you get, the more eyeballs you get. The more eyeballs you get, the more sponsors you get. So it all steps upon each other, right? In the beginning, you're not going to have any eyeballs, right? But if you could give them really good content, really good lead magnets, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to give you 28 different lead magnets that you can use in your podcast, right? Not only in your podcast, you can use it all over the place. Would you like that? Anybody want that? 28 lead magnets. So just type lead magnets if you want those. And so I can show you how to get those, because you have to give value. And then when people download it and take it, then you understand, okay, they like that. That's valuable. So it's a really great source of feedback. The beautiful thing about going live in your own show or going live in a podcast is, well, podcasts often are pre-recorded, but if you do it live, then you get the feedback and you get instant feedback and you can course correct before the next show. Okay. So that's why I'm always asking you. Some of you are getting messages from me saying, hey, what else do you want to learn? Okay. I will put it up there. If you guys ask me questions, I'll do a whole show on any question you have. Okay. Because that's what you guys need to scale your business. And that's the only reason that we're here. So again, if you're looking at the scroll down below, Mind Your Business is the upcoming workshop. It is Monday, April 3rd to April 5th. Okay. So I would love for you to come. There's only 10 VIP seats available. And so what does that mean? If you're a VIP for that event, you will actually be on screen with me. You will be live. You'll be asking me questions live and being my guinea pigs as we go through that. And so that workshop is my passion. I love helping people elevate their mind, their consciousness. This is not mindset. This is not affirmations. This is not EFT or tapping or NLP or any acronym. Okay. It's none of that. Okay. This is truly transforming your mind, and it's based on science and research, physics, medicine, spirituality, consciousness research, areas that I spent 12 years studying predictable human behavior, why people do the things they do. And if you know why you're doing something, you can navigate around that. So I'm going to show you all of the research that goes back to 800 AD up until today, and you're going to get all of that information. You can go to the Iconic Mind site right now. Unfortunately, the link for some reason is not yet working, but give it about 2 hours and we'll have the links working and you can choose your seat. You can choose silver, gold, or platinum, and platinum does get a 4th day. So it's not just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Platinum people get another day of 2 hours, and you get to come on live with me, and you get a whole bunch of bonuses and things like that. So let's go look at the podcast again. And then you have to know, if you're going to host, you got to know what steps you're going to take. Okay. And so you don't want to do it out of order. And that's what I did when I started my podcast. I think I did it completely backwards, and it was really hard for me to get it off the ground. Okay. And I really didn't know what I was doing. And so I had to do a lot of them over because I didn't understand what needed to happen. I did not understand the recording process. And so I kept having to re-edit and re-edit and re-edit. And it was honestly a nightmare. Okay. And I hated it. I just really hated it. It was so much work. So I thought, but I love doing it, but I hated the process. Okay. So now I love guesting, but there's a part of me that wants to go back and keep building the podcast as a host. And so that's why I made mine only 4 minutes. So it wouldn't be as much work. Okay. And it aligns with my process. So my question is, what would you name your podcast? Okay. What would be the name of your podcast? If you had one, put it down below. I would love to see, what would you name your podcast? Okay. So let me show you what I want to give you guys so you can start your own podcast. Okay. And first of all, I want you to get both of these replays. Okay, so the first replay will, on part 1, how do you become a guest? All the tools that you need to be a guest. And then how do you become a host? Okay, and that's the hard part. So the thing that I want to do, and let me show you kind of what I put together for you so that you guys wouldn't be as lost as I got in this whole process. And so I took all of the tools that you need, all the resources, all the lists, everything, and I put it together on a little system. Okay. And it's called Power Podcast Playbooks. And so what you get is the 2 live trainings, a 57-page planner. So it just walks you through. It's your Bible. Okay. And there's 4 cheat sheets that you're going to get that I talked about, and I'll show you all of them and why you need them. 18 templates, so you can just copy and fill in the blanks. Okay. And then a strategy session to take a look at everything that you've created. Okay. So let me walk you through what it looks like here. And so one of the things is the 2 trainings. Okay. So the other thing is this, and this is kind of the guidebook. This is going to be everything that you need. It's 57 pages. I know we're going to go, oh, I have to read the whole thing. Well, you don't have to, but you can skim through it. Okay. It's valued about $297. But that's what I put together to figure out, how do I actually put a podcast together for myself and my clients so they know exactly what to do, with me or without me. Okay. And I wanted this to be so that you can do this on your own time. Okay. You don't have to be a client in order to do this. Okay. So I made this for you, even if you're not one of my clients. Okay. And then how do you get started? So we put together a 10-step startup guidebook. And those are the first 10 steps that I was just talking about, steps that you need to do in order to make sure your podcast comes off without a hitch. And it's also, you want to do those in the right order. Okay. Of course, you get the 2-part training. You'll get to look back at this and part 1. Okay. And then in addition to those 10 steps, the 2-part training, which is a $297 value, we want to give you the income booster blueprint. So there's a blueprint on how do you actually make money. Most people take more than 6 months to make any money with their podcast. Only 1% of people make money in the first 30 days. So what if you could boost your income right away? Okay, so I'm going to give you that playbook, and that blueprint is valued at $97. So you're going to get that. I'm also going to give you 28 power lead magnets. So you want to have something to give to your audience. I want you to have these lead magnets, okay? And lead magnets are all over the place. There's so many different ways. So I don't know exactly what kind of podcast you're going to have. So I wanted you to have anything that would fit whatever kind of podcast you have, and then you can play with it, right? So those are the 28 power lead magnets that are going to help build your business and build your list. Okay. Now, the other thing that you need to do, people get stuck here. This is a big sticking point. The podcast power scripts. People don't know what to say. It's like, oh, do I just start talking? I don't know what to say. And then they have all these different lengths, and then there's no formatting and there's no structure. And that's why most people don't stick, because they don't know what to expect, right? You want to give people a proven structure, and you want to make it comfortable for you by having some scripts. That doesn't mean you're reading scripts, like a sales script or anything like that. Power podcast scripts are scripts to show you what to do first, what to do next. When do you do your intro? When do you do your commercials? How do you introduce somebody? How do you interview somebody, right? So if you're like, I've never interviewed anybody, and if you're more nervous than the guests, they're not going to have a good time. Okay. So I thought, oh, I got to give you the scripts so that you know what to do. Okay. That's $197 value. Now, I also know that there's things that you have to have in place. Okay. So you're going to want these templates. There's 18 of them, all kinds of things as far as how do you set it up? Do you have to trademark this? What about your naming? What about calls to action? What about a template for finding guests? What about a template for closing your guests? So all 18 of those I have there for you. Those are valued at $497, and they're awesome. Okay. And they're one-page templates. So you just use it and go. Okay. There's a lot of information. This is a lot of stuff. I didn't want to put this just into a Google Drive, because you know what's going to happen, or Box. You're going to sit it there and you're never ever going to touch it. And so what we're doing is organizing it all together for you. So you have 24/7 access with one of our membership sites. That does not mean we're charging you $97 a month. No, it's just that you have it all in one convenient place. So you have a professional membership site that you'll go into, and you can access every single one of these. Okay, so hopefully you're adding all this up. So we've got 2 trainings, 57-page planner, 4 cheat sheets, 18 templates, 1 strategy session. Again, we'll have the link active for you in just a little bit. But here's the other thing I did. I totaled all of that up. There are, oh, wait, there's another thing. One-to-one strategy session. So we can take a look at what you have, right? This will be with me. It's a $500 value. We'll look at your podcast, see how does that play into your big overall strategy. Podcast is great, but it isn't going to make you $1 million upfront. You have to look at it as integrated into your business plan. Okay. And then you want you've got your membership. And so the last thing, those are 26 things. I thought I'd give you one more. I'll give you a free podcast website, so you have a place to house it, right? You can have your stuff on Spotify, you can have it on iTunes, but you can't get leads from that. It won't work, right? It's sort of like YouTube is great, but you're not going to get people to click right there. You got to take them somewhere else. And so this is where you can have your own website, and you can put your other shows, and you can put your show notes and your guests. And it's a great way to recruit people so that they're like, oh, this is very professional, right? So we'll give you a free podcast website. It's a $297 value. So what do you all get? So I'll show you everything there is right here. You're going to have all the live trainings, the replays from this and last week, the 57-page planner, get the 4 cheat sheets that I showed you, and the 18 templates, the one-to-one strategy session, plus a bonus website. So it's all together in one system, one membership site for you, 27 items. The value is $2,473. And So kind of a no-brainer to get all of that, all the tools, all the resources, all the shopping lists, how to hire people, who to hire, all the live training, and one-to-one training as well. Okay. Does that sound pretty cool to you guys? Does that sound awesome? Who loves it? Who hates it? So here's what I want to make sure that you guys do. As I asked my team, what do you think we should do for that? And they said, yeah, that's good. Give them a nice break and make it really affordable. And so I said, okay, I'll make it really affordable. How does $1 sound? Okay. So for all 27 items, it's $1 each. Okay. So your whole podcast bundle's $27. Kind of a no-brainer, has everything you need. And in 30 days, you can have your podcast up if you don't have one, or you'll know exactly how to be a guest and be invited to more and more podcasts so that you can get your message out, and you can use all those lead magnets every time you show up somewhere and use those as resources to make sure that you get your message out. You don't have to be on multiple platforms, but imagine if you could just be on multiple podcasts. Imagine how much you could grow without having to do all the work and without having to come up with a new message every week. You just have to have one message, one singular message. If you need help with your messaging on what do you say and your speaking and your ability to appear on camera and podcast, we can help you out with that. It's all in this. Okay. So I've never done anything for $1. You guys know we're high ticket. That's not at all high ticket. So you get everything there. Take a snapshot of that. And when you go there, you will get on the wait list. Give it about, like I said, we had some computer difficulties. Give it about 2 hours, and you'll get an email so that you can do it, or just type #playbooks. Okay, #playbooks, and we will contact you as soon as it's available. Does that make sense? So it's $1 for each. It's 27 different things that you can use to grow a podcast or to be a host on a podcast, and just be a guest. Okay. There's no need, like I said in the beginning, to be on 7 different platforms. What if you just had your main singular platform and then you just went on other people's podcasts, right? Now you could be everywhere. And you know what? When I told you in the beginning how I went to an event with one of my mentors, and they said, be everywhere. And they gave this whole schedule, but they had 45 people putting that together. You can't do all of that as one person, but as one person, you don't need anybody to get you on different platforms through other people's podcasts. And I like it even better than doing a summit. And here's why. If you've been thinking, well, I'll just do a summit, that's just as good. If you do a summit, you give away your email list. Your email list is your most prized possession. It is the thing you actually own. And a podcast is a great way to, on a show like we're doing here, is a great way to grow your list. Okay. But I do know the biggest thing that people are going to do is they're going to talk themselves out of it. So even if you don't feel confident, like at some point I would, I don't know, get the podcast bundle now, right? It's just $1. Every single piece is just $1. 57-page book, 18 templates, just $1, impossible. Okay. Can't find that price anywhere. And there's nothing continuing, right? Just because I give you a free membership site, it's just to hold everything. It's not that there's no other billing. Okay. That's just a one-time $27, get everything. Okay. Now, again, all I'm telling you though is give it a little bit so we can open up the cart for you. And before I let you go, I want to remind you, Mind Your Business is coming up. You have a choice of 3 different seats. You can go silver, gold, or platinum. And I just wanted to let you know what is the difference. A lot of people have been asking me, what's the difference? When is it? And how do I get to go? Okay. So the date is April 3rd through April 5th. And this 3-day mastery series is all about mastering your mind, because the only way that you're going to grow into a 7-figure business is to have a 7-figure CEO mindset. We tell this to our clients all the time. It is the number one thing that propels our clients. It's the number one difference maker, is the people that do this. And the people that actually don't move forward, that don't connect with enough people, that don't do the prospecting, that are afraid to sell, you know why that is? They're afraid to hire people because their mindset isn't right. Okay. But people are following strategies that just don't work and they don't stick. And it's not about law of attraction. It's not about The Secret. It's not about affirmations. It's not about tapping. It's not about NLP and fooling yourself. It's not about acting as if. Okay. There's some deep rooted stuff that you can actually change in as little as 21 days and make it permanent. And that's what we're talking about. So if you're sick and tired of going up and down, and you're sick and tired of going forward for something and then you chicken out, or you go for something and then everybody talks you out of it, or you're too timid to do anything, and so you've just been hiding and hiding and hiding. You're pretending, I have a business, but you actually don't do anything for it. Or any time something comes up and it actually costs money, you're like, oh, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't afford it. And you don't even know a price. You just say, I can't afford it, right? That kind of poverty mindset is really messing with you, and it's messing with your business. And so in 3 days, we're going to fix the whole dang thing. Okay. So you will love it. That is 100% guaranteed. There's a full money back refund if you don't like it. So, there's 3 ways you can come to that workshop. You can come free and you get the free training. You can come, and that's silver. You can come as a gold ticket. Okay. And so a gold ticket has some more benefits, and it also includes our Millionaire Mind course. So you get that course along with it, and you get 2 of our mind meds. You guys might have seen these. These are our custom binaural meditations, and you'll get 2 of them when you come in as gold. If you come in with just the free silver ticket, we'll still give you 1. And then if you come in as a platinum member, you get about 15 other things. You get 3 programs. You'll get our procrastination program, our procrastination crusher. So if you have a problem with procrastination, we'll give you that program that we offer. We will also give you our $1 Million Mind course. We'll give you the consciousness compass, so you can get your mind really clear and know exactly where you're going. You also get a focus finder call, so that you can really find your focus and make sure you're in the right business with the right audience. And you will also get the results mastery. So if you're not hitting your goals, and you don't even like doing goals, and you can't figure out how to get to what you want, results mastery is going to blow your mind. And then you also get a 4th day of 2 hours of private training with me. Again, that's going to be on a Zoom call. And that's really going deep into the issues of your mind and why you're stuck, and finding the original source so we can remove it and allow you to move forward. And so you will get that 4th day of training as well. And everything will be housed in its own membership site, and you'll get to keep all of the replays. Okay. So the only way you get to keep all the replays and all of the training, and every day you're going to get free bonuses. And we have what we call mind guides, and we have a workbook. So every day you're going to get another mind guide, another mind guide, another mind guide to help you elevate your mind and skyrocket your business. Okay. So it's the first time I've done this for the public. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I've taught this on a clinical basis. And so I want to bring it to a professional basis, so you can use the therapeutic mind things that I earned my PhD in and have been teaching for a number of years. And you can start applying it to yourself right now, so that you can change your business. Right? So if you went last year and you didn't hit your goal, and you didn't cross 6 figures, you didn't get beyond $10,000 a month ever, then you have to be there. You just have to be there. Okay. There's no sense in playing small. The market's going to change. Economy is going to change. And if you don't get ahead of it, it's just going to be like the pandemic all over again. It's going to be Groundhog Day, where you don't know what to do and you freeze. And then you're farther and farther and farther behind. So I can't have you guys do that. Okay. So If you're flat broke, there's a free ticket. Okay. But if you want the best of the best and you want to be live on air with me, ask me questions, interact, have an extra 2 hours with me, then get the platinum ticket. And you get 3 extra programs. Oh, and then you don't just get one of these or 2 of these. You get 6 mind meds. Okay, they're custom mind meditations that we built and designed binaural to match the brain patterns. That as you go through different ups and downs, it matches it and it levels it out so you won't fall apart. Okay. It's just the coolest thing. And again, tapping into when you get to theiconicmind.com, you'll see it tapping into all the research and the mentors and things that, again, going back all the way to 800 AD to Wang Po, to some people you've never heard of. Such as probably Walter Russell and some of you know David Hawkins. We tap into some Jung. We tap into all kinds of really cool things. Bessel van der Kolk, really cool stuff. So I hope you guys can be there. It starts on Monday. It's 5:00 on Monday. Again, sorry guys, technical issues. I couldn't get you to. You can't click on the ticket, so you can type #mind or go back in about 2 hours, and hopefully we will have the glitch fixed. But if you just type #mind or let me do this for you guys. If you do want to go, where you're going to go register, just give it a little bit, is theiconicmind.com. Okay, so theiconicmind.com, write that down, go eat some dinner, and then come back to that. And then if you just want us to inform you as soon as the site is ready, just go type #mind, because this is starting on Monday, not Tuesday, Monday. So there's only a few days left. And then if you know already you want a platinum ticket, because there's only 10 left. Okay. So my clients have first right to those. So I have 10 left for the public. So if you know you want a platinum ticket, then just type platinum and we will reach out to you. Okay, so that's really the easiest way to do it. Just type platinum and we'll get that to you. And that way you can come. It's 3 days, April 3rd through the 5th. And it's at 5:00. Each one will be at least an hour. And if you're platinum, you will get another 2-hour session with me afterwards. And so I promise you guys, you will love it. It is my favorite part of my business, watching people's minds completely unclutter, uncloud. And when your mind is, as I say, to live an unlimited life on earth, as I did in heaven, when you have that kind of experience and everything you touch is like a golden egg and everything works and there's no issues with time or stress or worry, fear, doubt, uncertainty, imposter syndrome, all that crap goes away. Okay, so if you would like that kind of living, this is going to be where you're going to go. You got a few days to get there, but if you do want to be platinum, please type #platinum right away. We'll take you in order and make sure that you get it so that you don't get left out of the platinum. So you guys have a great day. I will see you a couple times more this week to let you know more about this. Check your email. I'll give you more details. And when you get registered, again, you're going to have a site. And then as soon as you get registered, the earlier you get registered, you're going to get free gifts along the way, all the way up until Monday. So get registered early. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you soon.